Hi guys, I'm Sylvia, and today I am going to show you how to cover a cake with fondant. I have an 8-inch round cake, and I chose to cover it with blue fondant, but any color is going to work. And this is a great video for beginners or if you have given it a try a couple of times and you want some extra tips. So I hope you guys enjoy. To get this project started, all we need is some fondant. I have about 2 pounds here. I have a slightly more than 2 pounds, but I think 2 pounds is the right amount. I have the fondant smoothers. These are really, really important. And I personally like the metal ones, but there's some plastic ones that work well too. A rolling pin, a big one, and some powdered sugar. So we're gonna get started. So basically, these little things at the end are really a big time saver because they let you roll away and they don't let you roll lower than, obviously, so it keeps it even, is what I'm trying to say. And if you find an air bubble, make sure and pop that. Okay, so now I'm going to roll it onto my rolling pin and I'm going to put it over the cake. This part is important. If this is the first time for you, I suggest rolling it a little bit thicker because it's easier to work with once it's on the cake. But obviously then it's a lot more fondant on the cake. So taste-wise, and it's a lot better to use thinner. It looks prettier at the end if you have thinner, and it tastes better too because you don't have that humongous amount of fondant. So here we go. Make sure you get the edges first. This is I think the most crucial part, because if you let it dry a little bit, then they crack. And you can't save that. You have to learn to live with the cracks. So now I just smooth with my hands, with this, the center of my hand. I smooth the edges. I'm trying to be careful. If I see an air bubble, like I have here, I release it by lifting the side up a little bit. And now I'm going to start with my fondant smoothers. And then it takes some time, so don't worry if it's your first time. It takes a little time to get used to. So basically you want to work with one hand, you smooth, and with the other one, you kind of flatten. You release these ruffles so that the fondant has a chance to, I guess, contract itself almost, so that you don't have wrinkles at the end. If you don't do this lifting part, then you will end up with a bunch of wrinkles on the bottom, and those can be saved if you put a big ribbon on the bottom or something like that to cover them. But if you want a perfectly smooth looking cake, this is the way to avoid them. See, slowly and patiently I'm turning my turntable and just going lower and lower every time. Again, and you don't want to wait. Once you roll your fondant, you want to make sure and you put it right on the cake, because if you wait too much, or if you take too long rolling it, then it starts to dry out and you have the same problem again. That's how you end up with cracks. And that's it. I got to the end. Slightly sticky, so I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar. And I'm going to cut off the edge. Actually, the easiest way to do that is to use a pizza cutter if you have one. I try not to get too close the first time, just in case I make a mistake. And then once I get a little farther ahead, then I'm gonna cut right onto the edge. See, now I do this with sort of like a circular motion and pressing down on the edges. And I'm pressing pretty firmly because I want to make sure that the fondant is nicely attached to the icing, and I also want to start looking for bubbles. And now it's the time for the pizza cutter. So I'm doing this very close to the edge, being very careful not to cut too far in that that we will be able to see the cake. I don't want to see the cake. I just want to cut close to the edge. There. And now you can choose if you want to leave it like this. Your edges will be a little rounded. I try to get mine a little more defined, so I go like this in a circular motion on the top and just back and forth on the side. And this also helps me like to see the bubbles. You see, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but by doing that, can you see that moving? That's an air bubble. So I'm gonna have to work that one out. So I try to get all the air bubbles to one spot, and then either I have to poke a hole with a needle, or I can sometimes make them find their way down. Yeah, let's see if I can move this one down. You don't want to force it too much. If it's not, this seems to be moving easily this time, but sometimes it doesn't. And if I keep poking at it, then I'm going to make a dent on my cake. So that's when the needle is a better option. But it's all the way down here now. Oh, and it's going lower. That's it. It wants to help out. So good. Now I'm just gonna, I just move the edge a little bit and I'm gonna let it go out there. There. That was it. All right. So this is it. Now it's ready for us to decorate in whatever way we want. The size, the bigger the cake, the harder it is to cover, but the smaller the cake, the less it weighs, so it moves around a little bit more. So either way, I hope you guys give it a try. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave me a comment below. And thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.